Welcome back to Book Summaries channel. If you have ever felt like you are destined for greatness, but somehow keep getting in your own way, today's video is exactly what you need. We are diving into the best-selling phenomenon, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, a refreshing, no-nonsense guide to stopping your self-doubt and starting an incredibly awesome life. Jen Sincero begins by explaining that most of us are living our lives on autopilot, controlled by a subconscious mind filled with outdated beliefs. These beliefs were largely formed during childhood based on the reactions and teachings of our parents and society. While our conscious mind wants success and happiness, our subconscious often holds on to fear and limitations to keep us safe. This creates a tug-of-war where we say we want one thing but sabotage ourselves because deep down, we don't believe we deserve it. Sincero emphasizes that we didn't choose these initial beliefs, so we shouldn't blame ourselves for having them. However, now that we are adults, we are 100% responsible for identifying and changing them. To become a badass, you must wake up and realize that your reality is a mirror of your internal thoughts. The first step to transformation is simple awareness of these hidden scripts. Once you identify the why behind your behaviors, you can stop playing the victim. You have the power to rewrite the blueprint of your life. This chapter tackles the often uncomfortable concept of a higher power, which Sincero refers to as God, source energy, or the universe. She argues that we are all connected to an infinite source of energy that is vibrating at a high frequency. When we are vibrating at the same frequency as this energy, we attract the things we desire effortlessly. However, when we operate from fear or doubt, we lower our vibration and cut ourselves off from this flow. Sincero encourages readers to drop their skepticism and develop a relationship with this energy, regardless of what they choose to call it. The universe is not trying to punish you. It is waiting for you to align with it. By raising your frequency through joy, gratitude, and love, you open the doors to abundance. It is about moving from a place of lack to a place of believing that everything you need is already available. You are essentially energy in a distinct physical suit, and you have access to infinite possibilities. Connecting with the G word is crucial for manifesting the life you want. Sincero uses the metaphor of a pigeon to illustrate the power of living in the present moment. Animals do not obsess over the past or worry about the future. They simply exist right now. Humans, on the other hand, suffer because we spend our time regretting yesterday or fearing tomorrow. Depression often stems from living in the past, while anxiety comes from trying to control the future. The only time you actually have the power to change anything or experience joy is in the present moment. When you are fully present, fear cannot exist because fear is almost always about something that hasn't happened yet. The author suggests that to be a badass, you must learn to observe your thoughts without getting swept away by them. By practicing mindfulness, you stop the mental chatter that drains your energy. Being present allows you to see opportunities that are right in front of your face. It is the state where true connection to source energy happens. The Big Snooze is Sincero's term for the ego, or the shadow self that thrives on fear and separation. This part of you is dedicated to keeping you safely within your comfort zone, even if that zone is miserable. The Big Snooze will create endless excuses, doubts, and validations to stop you from taking risks or growing. It operates on the false belief that you are separate from everything else and must fight to survive. Whenever you try to change your life, your ego will throw a tantrum because it perceives change as a threat to its existence. Understanding this mechanism is vital because it explains why self-improvement feels like a battle. You are not fighting the world. You are fighting your own resistance to your greatness. Sincero urges you to stop identifying with your ego and start identifying with your true self. The true self knows you are powerful and connected. Recognizing the Big Snooze allows you to laugh at your fears rather than believing them. This chapter is a wake-up call about how poorly we treat ourselves compared to how we treat others. We often say things to ourselves internally that we would never dream of saying to a friend. This negative self-talk acts as a constant barrier to success because you cannot manifest a great life if you think you are unworthy. Sincero emphasizes that self-love is not just a cheesy concept. It is the foundation of being a badass. You must appreciate your quirks and see yourself through the eyes of the source energy that created you. When you constantly criticize yourself, you are essentially insulting the universe. To shift this, you need to become vigilant about your internal dialogue and replace insults with affirmations. It is about shifting your focus from what is wrong with you to what is right with you. Loving yourself gives you the confidence to take risks. Without self-love, you will always sabotage your own success. Building on the previous chapter, Sincero offers practical tools for cultivating self-love. She advises readers to stop comparing themselves to others, as comparison is the fastest way to kill joy. She suggests using positive affirmations, but only if you can find a way to make them feel true to you. Another powerful tool is doing things that you truly love, not what you think you should do. You must also learn to forgive yourself for past mistakes, as holding on to guilt only weighs you down. Sincero stresses the importance of taking care of your physical body as an act of respect for your vessel. She also recommends spending time with people who uplift you and distancing yourself from energy vampires. Loving yourself requires practice and consistency, just like building a muscle. When you love yourself, your vibration rises, and you become a magnet for good things. You are unique, and that is your superpower. This chapter deals with the fear of judgment and the opinions of other people. Sincero explains that we often live our lives trying to please others or avoid their criticism, which is a prison of our own making. The truth is, what other people think of you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with their own expectations and insecurities. When you step into your power, you might make others uncomfortable because it highlights where they are playing small. You must stop asking for permission to be yourself. If you base your self-worth on external validation, you will always be on an emotional roller coaster. True freedom comes when you detach from the good opinions of others just as much as the bad ones. You are the only one who has to live your life, so you might as well live it your way. It is none of your business what others think of you. Focus on your own joy and let the critics fade into the background. Many people feel stuck because they don't know what their purpose is. Sincero argues that your purpose is simply to be the fullest expression of yourself. You don't need a grand, earth-shattering mission statement. You just need to follow what lights you up. Clues to your purpose are hidden in the things that make you lose track of time or the things you loved doing as a child. If you are unsure, the best strategy is to just take the first step toward anything that feels interesting. Clarity comes from action, not from thinking about it on the couch. Sincero warns against the trap of thinking your purpose has to look like a traditional career. The universe loves specificity, so pay attention to what brings you joy. Your job is to follow the breadcrumbs of excitement. There is no wrong path, only the path you are on, so start walking. Sincero tells the story of a man she saw at a seminar who wore a loincloth and acted completely wild, yet was totally comfortable in his own skin. The lesson here is about owning your authenticity, no matter how weird it might seem to others. We spend so much energy trying to fit in that we dilute the very things that make us special. Loincloth Man didn't care about social norms. He was fully expressing his truth. When you embrace your unique brand of crazy, you give others permission to do the same. This chapter is a call to stop being a watered-down version of yourself. The world doesn't need more people who fit the mold. It needs people who are alive and authentic. Your tribe will find you when you show your true colors. Being yourself is the most efficient way to be successful because it requires the least amount of acting. Sincero presents meditation not as a mystical practice for monks, but as a practical tool for successful people. She describes it as the practice of quieting the mind to let the voice of intuition, or God, be heard. In our busy lives, we are constantly broadcasting thoughts, but we rarely stop to receive guidance. Meditation creates the space for those aha moments to enter. It helps you detach from the drama of your ego and reconnect with the source. She provides simple instructions. Sit comfortably, focus on your breath, and gently bring your mind back when it wanders. You don't need to be perfect at it, you just need to do it. Even 5 minutes a day can shift your energy and reduce stress. It is the best way to get out of your head and into the flow. Consider it a daily meeting with your inner guidance system. This chapter focuses on the power of mindset and how to make your thoughts work for you rather than against you. Sincero explains that we can literally rewire our brains through focused thought and intention. Positive thinking isn't just fluffy optimism. It is a tool for changing your neural pathways. She introduces the concept of neuroplasticity in layman's terms. You must become the master of your mind, deciding which thoughts to entertain and which to discard. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, you have to actively flip the script. The author suggests treating your brain like a muscle that needs training. You wouldn't let a toddler drive a car, so don't let your untrained mind drive your life. By consciously choosing empowering thoughts, you change your emotional state and your actions. This is how you begin to manufacture your own reality. Despite the humorous title, this chapter is serious about the importance of getting out of your head and acting on your intuition. Leading with your crotch means following your excitement and passion rather than overanalyzing everything. Logic often talks us out of our dreams because it relies on past data, but intuition navigates the unknown. Sincero argues that your body often knows the answer before your brain does. When you are excited about something, it is a signal from the universe to pursue it. Analysis paralysis is a dream killer. You have to be willing to look foolish or make mistakes in pursuit of what feels good. The best decisions often don't make logical sense on paper, but feel right in your gut. Trust that impulse and move towards what pulls you. Sincero explores the energetic law of circulation. You have to give to receive. Hoarding money, love, or energy out of fear of lack actually blocks the flow of abundance. Generosity sends a signal to the universe that you believe you have more than enough to share. However, she also emphasizes the importance of being a good receiver. Many people are great at giving but terrible at accepting help or compliments, which disrupts the cycle. You must be open to receiving with gratitude to keep the energy moving. Giving shouldn't be a transaction where you expect something in return. It should be done for the joy of it. When you give freely, you raise your vibration. This applies to money, smiles, compliments, and time. View life as a flow of energy and ensure you are both an outlet and an inlet. Gratitude is presented as the most powerful tool for raising your vibration instantly. When you are in a state of gratitude, you cannot be in a state of fear or lack. Sincero advises practicing gratitude not just for what you have, but for what is coming, as if it is already here. This faith-based gratitude is a powerful manifestation technique. It signals to the universe that you trust it is delivering the goods. By focusing on the good in your life, you attract more of it. Complaining, on the other hand, is like praying for things you don't want. The author suggests keeping a daily gratitude journal to retrain your brain to scan for positives. Even in bad situations, there is something to be grateful for, even if it is just the lesson learned. Gratitude puts you in alignment with the frequency of miracles. Forgiveness is a selfish act, and Sincero means that in the best way possible. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. When you refuse to forgive, you are letting the person who hurt you continue to control your emotions and your life. Forgiveness is not about condoning bad behavior. It is about freeing yourself from the heavy energy of anger. To move forward and be a badass, You must cut the energetic cords that tie you to the past. Sincero suggests finding compassion for the person who hurt you by realizing they were acting out of their own pain and confusion. You don't have to call them and tell them. The work is internal. Letting go creates space for new, positive experiences to enter your life. Freedom is more important than being right. This chapter discusses the delicate balance between desire and detachment. Sincero uses the image of a dog gripping a bone too tightly. We often strangle our dreams by needing them too desperately. Desperation comes from fear and lack, which repels the very thing you want. The key is to have a clear intention of what you want, but to be flexible about how it arrives. You must surrender the how to the universe. Trust that if things aren't working out the way you planned, it is because something better is in store or the timing isn't right yet. This detachment is not apathy, it is faith. When you loosen your bone, you relax, and when you relax, you become open to guidance and opportunities. It is about wanting it, but knowing you will be okay without it. This energy shift makes you magnetic. Sincero tackles one of the biggest blocks for people: money. She argues that money is just energy, neither good nor bad, but our beliefs about it are often toxic. Many of us grow up hearing money is the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy. These beliefs subconsciously prevent us from earning wealth. To become a badass, you must make friends with money. You need it to live your best life and to help others. There is nothing spiritual about poverty. Sincero encourages readers to look at money as a tool for freedom and expansion. She suggests rewriting your money story and affirming that money flows to you easily. You must respect money, pay attention to it, and stop feeling guilty for wanting it. Abundance is your birthright, and there is enough for everyone. This chapter is about surrendering to the flow of your life while taking responsibility for your choices. Sincero explains that we all have a destiny, but we have the free will to embrace it or fight it. Your desires are the map to your destiny. The things you want are not random. They are calling you toward your highest potential. However, following your destiny requires courage because it often means leaving the beaten path. You have to trust that the universe has a plan for you that is bigger than you can imagine. It is about co-creating with life. When you are on the right path, things tend to flow more easily, even if there are challenges. Pay attention to synchronicities and signs. Trusting your destiny means knowing that you are supported. Overwhelm is often a choice we make to avoid taking action. Sincero points out that we waste enormous amounts of energy complaining about how busy we are. This drama makes us feel important but keeps us stuck. The solution is to stop talking about how busy you are and just do the next thing in front of you. Time is an illusion. We always have time for what we prioritize. She suggests protecting your time by saying no to things that don't align with your goals. Break big tasks into small, manageable chunks to avoid paralysis. Often, overwhelm is just fear of success in disguise. By getting organized and focusing on one thing at a time, you strip the drama away. You are in control of your schedule, not the other way around. Sincero distinguishes between real danger, a bear chasing you, and fear, worrying about the future. Most of our fear is entirely mental and projected. We fear the unknown, but the unknown is where all new life is created. The author encourages readers to view fear as a sign that they are growing. If you aren't a little scared, your goals aren't big enough. The advice is to feel the fear and do it anyway. Flip your perspective. Be scared of not living your dreams rather than being scared of failing at them. Fear loses its power when you face it directly. Usually, the worst-case scenario isn't as bad as we imagine. Sincero suggests looking at fear from the perspective of your future self. Will you regret letting fear stop you? Action is the cure for fear. The people around us act as mirrors, reflecting back to us our own insecurities and strengths. If someone irritates you, it is usually because they are displaying a trait you deny in yourself or wish you had. Sincero calls this projection. Instead of judging others, use these interactions as data for your own growth. If you are surrounded by negative people, it says something about your own vibration. Conversely, when you admire someone, it is because you recognize that same potential within yourself. To change your relationships, you must change yourself. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. Sincero advises surrounding yourself with people who reflect who you want to be. Don't try to fix the mirror, fix the person looking into it. This radical responsibility transforms your social world. This chapter is a transition into the final how-to section of the book. Sincero reiterates that you have the power to create a life that you are obsessed with. This sweet life is not reserved for a lucky few. It is available to anyone willing to do the work. It requires a fundamental shift from being a victim of circumstance to being the creator of your reality. You have to want it more than you fear it. She reminds us that life is supposed to be fun and joyful. We often take everything too seriously. The sweet life is about enjoying the journey, not just the destination. It is about waking up excited. Sincero prompts the reader to visualize their ideal life in vivid detail and believe it is possible. This belief is the fuel for the actions required to build it. There is a massive difference between wanting to change and deciding to change. Sincero explains that wanting is passive and allows for excuses, while deciding cuts off all other options. When you truly decide, you burn the bridges behind you. You do whatever it takes. Most people fail because they never actually decide, they just try. A real decision means you keep going until you succeed, regardless of setbacks. It requires tenacity and grit. Sincero shares her own experience of deciding to make money, which meant investing in coaches she couldn't afford and doing things that terrified her. The moment of decision is when the universe begins to rearrange itself to help you. If you haven't succeeded yet, check if you have truly decided or if you are just wishing. Commitment is the key. Returning to the topic of wealth, Sincero dives deeper into the practicalities of making money. She insists that you must value your work and charge what you are worth. Undercharging serves no one and reinforces a lack mentality. You must get clear on exactly how much money you want and why you want it. Specificity creates a target for the universe. She also discusses the importance of investing in yourself. When you pay for help or education, you are betting on your own success, which raises your energetic frequency. Money is a resource that allows you to expand your reach and impact. You have to be willing to do the uncomfortable things, like asking for a raise or raising your prices. It is time to stop playing small with your finances. Wealth is a mindset before it is a bank balance. Surrender is often confused with giving up, but Sincero clarifies that it is actually the most powerful active state. It means doing everything you can and then letting go of the attachment to the result. It is trusting the universe to handle the details. When you try to micromanage life, you stifle the magic. Surrender allows you to ride the current rather than swimming upstream. It brings peace and clarity. You have to trust that if you fall, the universe will catch you. This chapter reinforces the concept of faith. Doubting effectively puts up a roadblock. Surrender is saying, I have done my part, now show me the way. It relieves the pressure and anxiety of trying to force outcomes. When you surrender, you get out of your own way. This is the call to action. You can read all the self-help books in the world, but nothing changes until you do something. Sincero warns against spewing, which is talking about your plans, analyzing them, and complaining about obstacles without actually moving. Action is the only thing that creates results. You don't need to know the whole path. You just need to take the next step. Perfectionism is just another form of procrastination. Fail forward, make messes, and learn as you go. The author urges readers to raise their standards for themselves and stop tolerating mediocrity. If you want a different life, you have to do things differently. It requires effort, discipline, and the willingness to be uncomfortable. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. In the final chapter, Jen Sincero summarizes the journey of the book. She reminds the reader that they are a badass, capable of infinite greatness. She encourages us to keep the connection to source energy open and to continue loving ourselves relentlessly. Life is a temporary adventure, so we shouldn't waste it being miserable or small. She reiterates the importance of surrounding yourself with high-vibe people and consuming empowering content. The transformation process is ongoing. You will fall off the wagon, but you just have to get back on. She leaves the reader with a final boost of confidence. You are loved, you are powerful, and you are here for a reason. Go out and share your light with the world. It is time to live the life you were meant to live.